Hi everyone, this is Lexi with the Missouri Department of Agriculture, and I'm going to go over the Missouri Senior and WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program training for farmers to go through to accept these, both of the senior and WIC benefits for 2024. Within the Missouri Department of Agriculture, there is a marketing team called Missouri Grown, and this is actually where I am housed. So you will see information and the logos for Missouri Grown and Missouri Department of Agriculture on our information for both the Senior and WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program, but also just a plug here for membership for the Missouri Grown website. That it is a $50 annual fee if you want to become a member on there, but farmers markets are actually free as a listing. So I would encourage those managers or vendors to go on there, see if your farmers market is listed. If not, reach out to us and we can get you on the website. So for the Farmers Market Nutrition Program goals here, we have two overall goals for each of the programs. One, to provide funding and resources to increase the consumption of fresh, whole, locally grown fruits, vegetable, herbs, and honey to low-income senior and WIC participants in the state. And then number two here, to assist our growers and enhance the use of those farmers markets and roadside stands in Missouri, just to increase the economic and revenue benefit for our farmers, those markets, roadside stands, really just to get more people using those overall in our state. In 2024, the average farmer made about $760 on the program if they were accepting the benefits throughout the program season. And then we still had over $250,000 unredeemed by our farmers. So still a big chunk of money out there waiting to be used by our farmers. Usually the participants say it's just hard to find farmers to use the benefits with. On this slide, we will go over the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program overview. The programs sound similar, but they are different. So this one we've had since 2019 and is funded by USDA Food Nutrition Services and the Farm Bill. Of course, it was kind of a hard rollout with 2020, so now we're really seeing an increase in participation for the senior side of the program. Seniors to be eligible have to be 60 years of age or older with a household income of 185% or less than the federal poverty guidelines, and they receive $50 per household per program year. We do pay and contract with 4 local agencies on aging to issue out the benefits, make sure their participants are eligible, and review their information. So you all don't have to worry about that part. We do contract with these agencies. This is just an overview for you. And here we'll go over the WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program. This was funded in 2022 to the Missouri Department of Agriculture by the USDA, so United States Department of Agriculture, FNS team. So WIC is women, infants, and children. So if a woman, an infant over 4 months old, or a child who's already on WIC, regular WIC benefits, they are automatically eligible for $30 per person per program year. So a parent with children that are all receiving WIC, they each can get $30. So that can add up pretty quickly with a family of 2 or 3 people. For WIC, it's a little different. There's 52 WIC agencies who can participate throughout the state, but not all agree to participate. So it's those who are seeing farmers in their area and want to issue out the benefits for their WIC clients, and slowly building up those WIC agencies throughout the years. And then here at the Missouri Department of Agriculture, we are the overall authority for both of those programs. A big part of that is a 1-to-1 on all the benefits. So every dollar the USDA gives us, we have to track that from the local agency to the participant to the farmer, and that's the end of our tracking. So thankfully we moved to this electronic system last year, which has really helped with all of that and to increase our payments for our farmers. We also train and authorize all of our farmers. We train and authorize local agency staff, both senior and WIC, so anyone who's going to be issuing out the benefits or dealing with the program within that agency, they do have to go through training as well. We handle all complaints and appeals that come through. We monitor the program. We ensure accurate and prompt payment both to our agencies and farmers, and then just accountable to the USDA. For the program operation year, it is May 1st through October 31st. There are things that happen outside of these two dates, but from May 1st through October 31st is when benefits can be issued out and start being redeemed with farmers. So we really need our farmers set up in the app and have everything ready to go with the listing prior to May 1st. But of course, we will take farmers after that May 1st date because we just need more authorized farmers in our state. October 31st is that last day that benefits can be redeemed with our farmers. So on November 1st, the benefits just won't be eligible anymore and you will not be able to scan them with the app on your phone. Here's a quick overview of farmer requirements. You do have to be 18 years of age or older to become authorized, have a smart device with internet access to accept the benefits at the market or roadside stand. If not, we did develop a new portion of the app where you can have a market manager act as a cashier and accept benefits for certain farmers, but that market manager will need to attend training and go through a few other things, which I'll go in more details in a few slides. Farmers must live and grow in Missouri or Kansas or Illinois counties that border our state. There's just so much overlap there that we do allow Kansas and Illinois farmers into the program. You must sell at a farmer's market or roadside stand within our service area, which I'll show within the next slides. Sell the eligible foods. This one's pretty important here. So you must sell fresh, whole fruits, vegetable, herbs, and honey to be eligible for the program. You must grow at least 50% of what you're selling at the farmer's market or roadside stand. We really wanted this to be like a Missouri farmer and grower program, so not a lot of resale, but again, we do allow you 50% of that. And then every year you will have to complete trainings and an agreement, an application. It just looks different after your first year. You don't have to do this interactive training, which I'll go over a little more too. This is the service area for the Senior and WIC FMNP program. It is not statewide, as you can see. We only operate in the highlighted counties here, and this is where the Senior and WIC participants must live within the counties to be eligible for benefits. Our farmers and growers, you can live anywhere within our state, Kansas or Illinois, and you can also accept benefits anywhere, either in Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, Arkansas. If somebody comes over there, the last thing we want to do with this program is deny people food. But we really want you to be selling close at a market close to these counties, if not within them, because that is where the participants are living. And they want to have easy access or not have to travel too terribly far to redeem their benefits with a farmer. The Missouri Senior and WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program does allow roadside stands to be a part of the program. We just want you located in the service area, again, like the map you just saw. The USDA says not within 5 miles of a farmer's market with an authorized farmer. If you are, we just ask that you have different hours of operation. If you have any concerns about that, we can reach out and discuss and kind of go from there. We haven't had too many issues with that. My biggest things are we want you to be present at the roadside stand with a consistent location and hours throughout the season. If you do have a roadside stand, but it's not consistent, I did put on the application that you can include a phone number for people to call you before they travel to your roadside stand. All right, here we'll go into the farmer responsibilities to become authorized. You do have to attend required annual training. That's what the USDA says, but your first year has to be this interactive version like you're doing today. But after this year, you just have to review the agreement and that will act as your updated training. You also have to submit an application every year, which is really just updated information on what markets you're selling at. Did you open a roadside stand? We do send you a lot of things in the mail, so we need updating mailing and email addresses if you have those. And again, that agreement will be yearly with MDA as well. And after your first year, it's going to act as your updated training. The application agreement is emailed after your training and quiz is complete. It is in an online fillable form. It's not paper. If you do wish to have the paper version, let me know and I can send that out, but this online fillable form seems to be working well. After that, I'm going to send you the senior and WIC sign that you must have visible when you're accepting the benefits at your market or roadside stand with the current year sticker. Access to a smart device or your market manager as a cashier. Here's a brief overview of that cashier option within the Homegrown Benefits app. For farmers without a smart device, you can have your market manager be a cashier within the Homegrown Benefits app for you and accept benefits on your behalf. That market manager would have to go through a training and fill out an application and agreement as well, just so they understand the program. So if this is an option for you, make sure you're discussing it with your market manager to make sure they are okay with doing this. They just have a login. They'll select your farmer number. When they scan a customer code, they're going to enter that transaction and that money goes straight to the farmer. The market manager will not make anything doing this for the farmer. But again, everybody has to do the training, app, and agreement, and set up your bank information with central bank so that that money can go straight to the farmer who is doing this cashier option with their market manager. This is an example of what the paper version of the farmer application looks like. Again, I just put this in an online fillable form to ask all the same questions, but just an idea of what we are looking for on the application that you will have to fill out every year. I send it out for renewals in about January for the next year. If you do want to keep participating in the program, just watch out for these renewal items that come through about January. So that'll be January of 2025 will be the next renewal. This is that back page of the application in a paper form. You'll just keep scrolling on the online form and answer these questions and read the information here. This is the example of the farmer agreement that's on paper. Within the online version, the agreement is all listed out there, and then at the very bottom, it's going to look like this. Just to make sure you agree with everything, you'll type your name in and submit that as your electronic signature. So you'll be able to review all of the information, and it gets emailed to you after you submit it, so you have that on file as well. Everything I'm going over today in this training is also in the agreement you're going to see and review once you complete the quiz and become authorized for the program. All right, again, so new authorized farmers, once we have that application and agreement submitted after attending this training and completing the quiz, I'm going to assign you a unique identification number, which I just call a farmer number. It's easier to track everybody with numbers rather than your names or farm names, so I'll assign you that really just on my end. You won't have to do too much with your farmer number. I'll put you into our Homegrown Benefits portal on my side so that you can receive the confirmation email, download the app, connect a bank account within the app, and then just start accepting benefits on May 1st. I also will send you the Senior and WIC FMNP sign for your booth with your farmer number on it. We do tell participants to look for that sign, so we do want that displayed when you're at the market so people know that you are accepting the benefits. Any training and support material with monthly emails I will send out. Emails are pretty easy and big. We have so many farmers and people communicating, so email is usually the best way for us to communicate everything with you. And then if you do decide to leave the program, I'll just turn you off within the Homegrown Benefits portal so you can't accept benefits, and then you have to return that sign that we do send to you. After your first year of being authorized in the program, the renewal process is pretty easy. You're just going to have to do that application, sign off on the agreement, and once I get those two items, I will send you a new sticker to put on your sign with the new year date on that, and then just reactivate you within the Homegrown Benefits portal so you can use the same login information and get back in there to start accepting benefits again. This is an example of the sign that we send to all of our farmers. It is corrugated plastic and it has two ringlets on the top so you can hang it up or display it however you wish. We will have the current year sticker on here with your farmer number. If you need multiple signs, please let me know. On the quiz, there's a place at the bottom for comments. You can let me know there, or you can just email or text or call me and saying you need more signs, especially if they're damaged or something like that. We can get you more signs. So once you are an authorized farmer, you do have responsibilities of providing that eligible food at the current price or less than what you charge to other customers, and it must be the same quality of food that you are offering to other customers. And then make sure that benefits are redeemed for the locally grown foods. So the food can be grown by another local farmer. We just don't want that resale from other places like pineapples or kiwis or something like that. We want it more of that local food that you're selling. So if you are up in, say, the St. Louis area, but you purchase watermelons from a local farmer down in the Boot Heel and sell them, that's perfectly fine to accept benefits for that other locally grown food if it is grown by another farmer. And then continuing here, authorized farmers, you can only accept benefits during the program year, May 1st to October 31st. You do have to repay MDA for any benefits transacted in violation. We've never had to do that, but that is in the agreement. Again, let us know if you decide not to continue in the program or you just stop producing the eligible foods, and so we can make sure we're not sending people to you to use benefits. Phone and online orders are allowed in our program now. I think most programs started doing this after 2020. So if somebody calls you and wanting to place an order to use their benefits, that is perfectly fine. You all just have to figure out the logistics on that and how you want to set that up with each participant. We're pretty hands-off on most of this program, especially these items. We really just want to make sure people are getting the food and you all are getting paid. The eligible foods for this program, like I mentioned before, are fresh, unprepared, locally grown fruits, vegetables, herbs, and then seniors can purchase honey with their benefits. WIC participants cannot purchase honey due to botulism for children under 12 months of age, so they just took that one out of the WIC side, but the seniors can purchase honey. They know this, and it says it on their folders, which I'll show you in a moment. It also says which program they're in when they're using the benefits with you if you just want to double check, but seniors are the only ones who can purchase honey on top of the fruits, vegetables, and herbs. The food cannot be processed or prepared beyond its natural state except for the usual harvesting and cleaning process. Again, locally grown within Missouri, Kansas, Illinois, places that border Missouri. Within the agreement, it does say that if you purchase and resell produce, that you have to present us with valid receipts if requested. This is only if a complaint is submitted. I feel like we lose some farmers at this point, but we really do not come out and look at this unless some complaint or issue has been arisen and MDA has to get involved in that. Otherwise, we are not going to be looking at this information and just really taking your word on it. But our USDA does say you have to keep 3-year record retention with the wholesaler's information. This is an example of the WIC informational folder that they receive when they are issued the benefits. So they do receive quite a bit of educational material. So we just created these folders with a lot of info on it in the first place. So you're seeing on the left and right hand sides here, this is the inside of their folder. So WIC participant, they're going to see what eligible foods they can purchase, what's the ineligible foods for the program here. And then inside of the folder, they can scan this QR code and it'll take them to our website with the farmers market listings of all the authorized farmers that we have within our program across the state. So they will have to scroll and find the county that they live in, but this will be where they go to find the most up-to-date listing because we do have farmers become authorized after we print the physical list that they receive. The right-hand side, tells them to look for that sign at the farmers market to find you all. And then also just some basic information about the program on that green portion, which is actually a pocket at the bottom. This is an example of the senior informational folder that they receive when they are issuing the benefits or receiving the benefits. Tells them the eligible foods looks very similar to the WIC, except honey is also included in this. Ineligible foods, they have the same exact QR code. Tell them to look for that sign, and then information about the program in general down there as well. All right, so this slide's going to go over how you all set up the Homegrown Benefits FMNP app on your smart devices or however many smart devices you need. You're also going to receive this in an email after you become authorized, and you'll receive a laminated version of this that's front and back. I'll show you the next slide in just a moment. But setting up your account, once I receive your application and agreement, I'm going to put you into my end of the Homegrown Benefits portal. So you'll get an email from support@homegrownbenefits.com. You're going to open that email. It's going to say within there, click here to confirm your email. When you do that, it's going to ask you to set a password. So go ahead and set a password with all the requirements there. And after you do that, then you can go and download the app and try to log in from there. So your login is going to be your username your username is going to be your email before the @ sign that you put into the application that you submitted to me. And then the password is going to be that one you just set from that email from support@homegrownbenefits.com. Once you get into the app, the last thing you'll need to do is go to the account information and enter a routing and account number for any bank that you have that you want money to be deposited into for this program. NDA, we do not view the banking information, and if you accidentally put a number in wrong, it doesn't mean that money is gone. Central Bank will just hold that money until I get a hold of you to fix your account information and make sure it's correct, and then we'll push those funds back out to you. All right, again, you'll receive this in an email and a laminated version. This is the front back portion here. So this is how to actually accept the benefits when a participant approaches you. I also created a video, and it's on our Missouri Department of Agriculture Farmers Market website. It's a YouTube video that you can go and watch an example of what this looks like in real time. But a participant will either have an app on their end that looks different, or they will just have a piece of paper. As you can see the examples on the left-hand side there. We do encourage them to take a picture of it, so they might even just present you with their phone with a picture or an email of the QR code. In general, they really just need to present the QR code to you. So you're going to log into the Homegrown Benefits app. You're going to go to Charge Customer. You're going to either scan or enter their code. If you have a camera on your phone, I would just use the scan option, but you can also just type it in the code that's underneath the QR code if you want. Again, they're going to show you the QR code. You're going to hover your phone to scan it with your camera or manually enter it, and then enter the transaction amount rounded to the nearest whole dollar. They do not allow us to do change, and it just gets a little tricky with that. So you will have to either round up or down. I just say if it's at 50 cents mark, you can go up or down from there. So enter that whole dollar amount, click validate, and then the very important last button you'll hit is confirm transaction. On that, it's going to automatically return to your home screen and show that transaction that just happened. You can pull down your phone to refresh the screen, and it should show that. Benefits will be deposited into your bank account within 24 to 48 hours after that transaction has occurred. So authorized farmers for this program, you cannot collect state or local taxes on top of those benefit purchases. You cannot give cash or change back. It's all an electronic system, so you should not be giving any physical money back to them. You cannot treat eligible participants differently from other customers or seek restitution from them if we do not pay your benefits. So please just come to us if you do have any issues with that. Authorized farmers cannot accept benefits after October 31st. Everything just kind of shuts down after that time, so the QRs will not work. You can still log into your account to see all your transaction history and funds, but nothing will be able to be scanned after that date. You cannot sell produce grown exclusively by somebody else. You do have to grow 50% of the items, and then you cannot commit fraud or engage in illegal activity. This slide just goes over the summary of benefit processes. Some people like to see this. So Missouri Department of Agriculture, we do have to apply for this program every single year. It's not a multi-year program, so we do have to reapply every November. And once we're approved, we receive funding from USDA. We assign those benefit amounts to senior and WIC agencies that are going to participate for that year. Those local agencies then are responsible to issue benefits to participants, provide nutrition education, give them the informational folder and farmers market listing. Those eligible participants review that information and then go out and find you all to redeem the benefits at the farmer's market or roadside stand for those eligible items, and then that money is then deposited into your bank account. The USDA does require us to go out and monitor our authorized farmers, so we do inspect 10% of our farmers annually, and then we may seek reimbursement if we find anything that violates the agreement. Again, we've never had to do that, but it is in the agreement, just so you're aware, and you do have 30 days to repay us from that time of notification. For compliance and monitoring, once you've signed that agreement, you are agreeing to be monitored for compliance and provide directions to grow sites if we do request it. That would really be if we had any complaints come through about how much you're growing or reselling. You are held accountable for employees, staff, and family members who might work your farm or booth or roadside stand for you. So if you're not the one there, when we do come and do our monitoring process, the other employees, staff, or family members will have to be able to answer our questions as well. The types of monitoring we do here, there are farm site visits. We typically don't do those unless you want us to come visit your farm or we have a complaint. We can come out and do that. Most of the time we're going to be at the farmer's market or roadside stands just to check in on you. And then a compliance buy, again, that's if we receive a complaint, then we would come out and look at what you're purchasing and reselling. This is a screenshot of the inspection form that we use. I don't send it out beforehand, but I like to just show you. It's pretty basic, and I honestly fill out a lot of the information before we go there. So it's more of just a conversation and how things are going and making sure everything is going okay, any feedback you have from me. But really, if you have any of that, communication is a big part of this program, so really just reach out to me if you do need anything. But again, this is just kind of an overview of what we're looking for on an inspection. Okay, and then here are the big items on that inspection that we're looking for. So violations followed with sanctions here. If we find a violation that you commit any type of fraud or engage in illegal activity, the sanction is just disqualification from the program without reinstatement and subject to prosecution under any applicable federal, state, or local laws. Our second grouping of violations here, if you fail to comply with on-site inspection and monitoring procedures, if you're charging for items not received by participants, if you're participating in any type of discriminatory practices or treatment of our participants, and if you fail to complete the training requirements, your first violation will be a suspension from the program for the rest of the year, and your second violation will be a suspension for the current and subsequent year. Here is our next grouping of violations with sanctions. So if you're accepting benefits for non-eligible foods, if you're charging participants a higher price other than the normal rounding up for eligible items than non-participants, if you're refusing to accept valid benefits for valid eligible food, if you're collecting sales tax on those benefit purchases, then your first violation will result in a written warning letter. And that's as much as we've ever had to do with this program. We did find a farmer accepting the benefits for, I think, jelly and bread. So we did get a complaint come through and sent a warning letter, but have never done anything other than that. If we do find any of these a second time, it'll be a suspension for the program for the rest of the year. A third one will be a suspension for the current and subsequent year. Here's our last grouping of violations and sanctions. So we do have to look to see if your scale is certified if you're using it for direct sales. That is for our consumer protection and safety. And then if you fail to appropriately display the sign that we send you with the current year sticker, these two items actually happen 99% of the time when we're out at farmers markets. I usually just tell you right then and there as a verbal warning, hey, you'll have to have your scale certified if you're using that for your direct sales, or you need to have your sign out. The sign is a nice one to have, but as long as you're set up within the Homegrown Benefits app and ready to go, you obviously are authorized to accept those benefits. And then I send you an email follow-up when I do get back to the office. But if we find a second violation, it'll be a written warning letter, and a third will be a suspension from the program for the rest of the year. And a lot of people ask how to get their scale certified for those direct sales, and it's actually here at Missouri Department of Agriculture, Weights and Measures Division. Their phone number is 573-751-5639. For a suspension, we've never had to do a suspension, but just in case, this is kind of our process that the USDA wants to see if we ever had to implement a suspension. So it would be effective the date that you receive that certified mail notification. You're not allowed to redeem any benefits on suspension, and this is in effect for the balance of the current program year. You do have to return that sign to us within 15 days of the receipt of notice. At the end of your suspension, you can reapply for the next year. If you do reapply after a suspension, you will technically be on a probationary status, but if we keep finding violations during this period, it could be grounds for disqualification. For a disqualification, a farmer will be notified by certified mail. It's effective the date that we send you the certified letter. You have 5 days after that letter date to redeem benefits. This one is permanent and you cannot participate in the program again, and you will have to return that booth sign within 15 days, and I also deactivate you within the homegrown benefits portal. All right, we're going to go over program complaints or conflict resolution. People typically call me, email, text all the time to complain about the program, and usually I can just work it out there with if there was miscommunication or just needed connections to get the correct information for that person. Usually that works out, but there is a official program complaint that MDA will take. We'll take all complaints except discrimination and look into those and work to resolve anything. And of course, everything will be documented on our end when an official complaint is filed. There is a general program complaint form that we have created. If anybody does need it, they can just reach out to us to file that official complaint, or if I do get a phone call, we will just offer this and send it out for them to fill it out because MDA will only take written complaints. We'll start going over appeals and hearings here. So a farmer can appeal any action made by MDA. So if we deny your application, impose one of those sanctions I went over, or disqualify a farmer, you do have to submit a written request to us for an appeal within 30 days of that adverse action. The only thing you cannot appeal is the expiration agreement or the lack of funding. If you do submit an appeal, there will be a hearing. You'll be notified of the time and location of that hearing within 15 days after the written request is received by MDA. Hearings will be conducted by phone or in person at a location determined by MDA. The hearing date will be no earlier than 30 days following that notification. The appellant will have one opportunity to reschedule the hearing if you give us a 24-hour cancellation notice, and then the opportunity to review any case records prior to the hearing. During the hearing, you will have the opportunity to present your case, bring witnesses, question or disprove testimony or evidence, be represented by counsel or other representatives, and submit evidence to establish all facts and circumstances within your case. After the hearing, a decision shall rest solely on the evidence presented in the statutory and regulatory provisions that govern both the Missouri Senior and WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program. The decision of the hearing official will be given in writing to the appellant within 60 days of that hearing. And if you're permitted to continue in the program while your appeal is pending, you're still responsible for everything in that written and signed agreement with MDA. The USDA Food Nutrition Services does have their own civil rights policy and guidance, and all farmers and local agencies are required to have some civil rights trainings per the agreement. So no person shall, on the grounds of race, color, national origin, age, sex, or disability, be excluded from participation, be denied benefits, or be otherwise subjected to discrimination under the Missouri Senior and WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program. The definition of discrimination is the act of distinguishing one person or group of person from others, either intentionally or neglect, or by the effect of actions or lack of actions based on the protected basis. Within the agreement that all farmers and local agencies sign, there is a civil rights listing here, so you do have to agree to comply with the following civil rights acts, amendments, and regulations here. The USDA non-discrimination statement is all on our public-facing documents, so if there is a discrimination or a civil rights complaint, this is where we would send everybody to file that. The last paragraph here has a PDF link within to find the form. There's also the mailing address, the fax, email, and phone number here to the USDA Office of the Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights. For anyone who is filing a civil rights complaint, any person alleging discrimination may file a complaint within 180 days of that discriminatory action. They can file it to the USDA in writing, orally, or anonymously. The USDA will ask for certain information for the civil rights complaints. This will be on the form, or they will just ask this over the phone or email, whatever way that is connected with the USDA to file this complaint. We just like to point out to our authorized farmers the Americans with Disability Act, reasonable accommodations. Authorized farmers are required to provide reasonable accommodations for persons with disabilities. So making sure that your market or your vendor booth is clear of obstruction so people with a disability can access that and shop for their foods there. To finish up a little bit here, these are keys to success that we have heard within our state and other states. I do join the national board for this program along with some other groups. So it does take time for this to really profit our farmers or just to get word out for senior and WIC participants to sign up and use the benefits. Of course, I'm at the state level, but there's a lot you all can do within your communities, or I can reach out and talk to community groups. But really connecting with your senior centers or area agencies on aging, your WIC clinics, usually at the county health department, but a lot of like university health hospitals, SWOPE, things like that, they also issue out WIC benefits. Having flyers for seniors to take at the market or for the WIC participants. For WIC, it's harder because their agency has to be signed up to issue out the benefits. Seniors just have to apply. And those agencies always want to come out and get other resources and maybe some swag out to people. So having them attend your market and hand items out could be a good idea too. Another one that we've heard is have your farm name visible at your booth for senior and WIC participants to see, and make other vendors aware of the program so they don't just tell people no and then they leave without being able to use their benefits. Pop-up markets at WIC or senior centers or assisted living centers have been very successful if we get farmers to show up. That is one hard thing to schedule with farmers to attend a pop-up market, but I know we did one last year and we had only one farmer show up, unfortunately, but he made probably $1,000 within the first 30 minutes of that pop-up market because there's so many people there wanting to use their benefits. We can provide $20 or $50 bundles of the eligible items to WIC or senior agencies. You all can work with them to set that all up. We're pretty hands-off on that part. Really, we're just overseeing that you're selling the eligible foods to eligible participants, really. So if you want to do that and build relationships with the WIC and senior agencies and doing these bundles or bags, perfectly fine with us. There is a farmer's market who did a senior shopping hour 1 hour before the market actually opened, and I think this was very successful for them. They had worked with the local senior agency, of course, and then I think a church in busing, like with the church bus and Oats, I want to say, bus to get the seniors to the market 1 hour before it was open, so they didn't have to deal with the crowd and heat and things like that. So any type of creative thinking like that is a really good idea. Of course, promotion on social media to senior and WIC participants and other farmers. We send out social media kits to both local agencies and our farmers, so please utilize that. You're welcome to make more signage, more posts, videos, TikToks, anything like that is fine. Encourage other farmers to become authorized. Our #1 complaint is that participants can't find farmers at the market with foods that they want, so just getting more farmers to participate and accept benefits in our state will be really beneficial. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but the more farmers who are accepting the benefits, the more money you're going to see at your market. So if there's only one or two farmers, you're probably not going to see a lot of participants come to your market. But if you have like 4 or 5 or more, you're going to see participants make the trip to your market, even if they're farther away, because there is a higher chance that somebody will be there with foods that they want. They understand, things happen and you might not be at the market every single Saturday or whatever day your market is. So just that higher percentage of catching somebody there at the market. And then here is the contact information for the program. Again, I'm with the Missouri Department of Agriculture, Missouri Grown Team, Lexi Jose. This is my work cell phone number here, so I encourage everyone to save that within your phones. You can call and text me on that. And then also the farmers market and my personal email comes to my work phone. So that's probably the best way to get a hold of me with the cell phone number and the email. I will get back to you pretty quickly. Of course, we have our website, the agriculture.mo.gov, and then Ag Business Development, and then Farmers Market. This training will be on there, and along with the video to show you how to do a transaction. A lot of the flyers are on there, the Farmers Market listing, so check that website out for all of that information. And then some items here. So of course I oversee the Senior and WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program for Missouri. I also do a lot of farm to school activities and funding, so you will receive information on that within some of my emails. It's just such a good connection between the Senior and WIC program and farm to school activities. That's kind of my background and things that we're really working on here in the state with so much money around it. And then anything else with Missouri Grown and Missouri Department of Agriculture, I can really help connect you with any of those. All right, so now that you have finished this training, watching and listening through, there is another step or a couple steps here. So the next is a farmer quiz to go over. So now that the training is done, the link below will take you to a farmer quiz that will ask you some questions, and then I will follow up with you based on those results if you did have questions or needed help with anything on the quiz. So once I review that, follow up with you, then you're going to receive an email with a link to complete that farmer application information and agreement that I told you about. This is all online as well, and that's kind of the final thing to get you into the homegrown benefits portal so you can start accepting benefits through your phone for this program year. So again, now that you have completed the video and training, you do have to complete the quiz after the training, and we will follow up with you from there to complete your authorization to accept benefits.